Any student who's come to us who's a first-year student, part of their welcome has been getting one of these iPads.
There's three main goals on this grant, Partnership for Change. First is student engagement.
We use an app called Nearpod, which is great for polling or like little pop quizzes, because then we can just take a screenshot of the answers and plug it into our grade system right after. And the kids like it because it's very interactive. I have control of it, and the kids, I give them an access code and it pops up on their screen, which is nice. It was great during the election in November because we were able to look at live electoral college maps and everything was updating right away and the kids could click on it, which you could do in a netbook or a laptop, but it was cool because it felt more real to them.
For a lot of projects, having an iPad and the teachers knowing all kids have iPads allows you to have another option on a project. Like you can either write a paper or you can create a video or something.
I learned how to use a graphing app to make a pie chart and to keep track of all. We basically made up our own life, like if we had a job and what we'd be like 20 years from now. And we got to graph everything and make a pie chart about it, so we got to see where we'd be in the future.
We want students to experience something viscerally. We want them to experience something that's going to engage their senses in different ways. And technology is just one piece of that.
And having options in other classes too, where they say you can write a paper or you can do a PowerPoint or a iMovie. iMovie is one of my favorite programs to use. I use it in a lot of my classes where you can film people, and it's just fun to do something other than just writing.
So there was an equity piece to giving out an iPad to every incoming freshman. The assumption that all students have access to 21st century technology is something that we couldn't take for granted anymore. On that level, I think we've been very successful because that's what we've been doing.
As you guys are working on your papers today, I'm going to come around and check with
Our mantra has been, we want the teachers to be comfortable with making this a tool in the classroom. It's not a feature presentation. This isn't, on Wednesdays, it's iPad day. We want it to be something that they use to enhance the learning of students. And I think that overall, it's happening. It's just happening to different degrees in different places.
So they intended us to have all these apps and to use it to broaden our learning landscapes. And really, I don't know if the teachers know how to do that, so we don't do that, and it's just ended up using as a note-taking tool.
I think some teachers definitely use it a lot more than others. Teachers who are more comfortable using the iPad tend to use it more in class, but I definitely feel like there's not a whole lot of information given on using iPads in a really creative way.
I facilitate professional development for teachers, teacher learning, how to change the way we teach in the classroom. That is the hardest probably part of any one-to-one.
I use it as much as I can, but I'm not fancy with it by any means, and I'm not very tech savvy. But compared to some other teachers, I'm less intimidated than the technology.
That's generational as much as it is the teacher-student relationship. We just know more about iPads.
They've been the smartest person in the room for 20 years, and now all of a sudden they're not. What do you do? Well, you ask kids. What molecular app do you know?
So anytime you integrate something new, and this exciting especially, yeah, laptop would be exciting, but this is an iPad. That's even cooler. It's going to be a challenge.
There's a long 20-plus point list about how to successfully implement one-to-one initiatives, and one of the last things in the list, the 20th thing out of 21 things, is you give the device to a student.
We said, let's build an airplane while we're flying. It's kind of hard sometimes, you might crash, but we're doing it. We have to.
It's only going to evolve and grow as it just becomes part of what we're doing here in terms of the teaching.